In this video, I'm going to show you how to find and complete the lecture assignments. So I've logged into Canvas. You're going to click on Modules. And we're going to scroll down to the very first lesson module. A lesson and a module are the same thing. So here's our introductory page, which you can look at. That is going to just contain the same links that are within the Nearpod. So as we scroll down, it'll list those. So basically, those are the same videos. There's also videos for the lab. So if you don't want to look elsewhere, they are right there. So I'm going to go back to the module. And under this tab, it says Lecture and Lab Resources. So we're going to look at, here's the Nearpod notes. Those are going to correspond with Nearpod, which we've already talked about. Then we've got our learning objectives. If you would like to use that, there'll also be a study guide here. The learning objectives, the Kahoot, and the study guide are just for you. So you're not going to have to turn them in. If you want the answer keys, you can email the completed version of the study guide, and I will then send you the key. But you have to send me that you actually did it. So again, a Kahoot, an objective, a study guide, which are just practice. Then as we scroll down, and the dates may be different for your semester, we have the Nearpod, which we've already discussed. So you click on the Nearpod. So the Nearpod is going to correspond with the Nearpod notes. So you're going to listen and do the Nearpod and fill in the notes. And then you would do the SmartBook. SB is SmartBook. And as I scroll down, once you have learned all of the lecture and the lab material, you would then take the quiz. So let's look at what a SmartBook looks like, since we kind of have an idea of how the Nearpod already looks like. So once you click on the SmartBook, it's going to ask you to begin. And it's going to have the due date, which those again will be adjusted for your particular semester, about how long it's going to take you and how many concepts are in there. Now, this is going to be changed. It says practice not graded. These are actually graded assignments. So if you haven't read any of the textbook yet, you would want to start reading first. If you feel fairly confident in the information, you've read the textbook section. So for example, lesson 1 is 1.3 only. So if we wanted to read that, we would just click on go to reading. This is the end of the textbook. So it'll just take you to that section that the SmartBook is over. So after you've read whatever it is, you're going to go to questions. There's some tips. And then you're going to say how confident you are in your answer. So high, medium, or low. So let's say medium. You can say whatever you want. We're going to click that after we choose our answer. And then this is our little progress toolbar. So there are 14 concepts. Again, the more you get right, the faster those are going to fill up. So biotic factors of ecosystems are those that are, bio means life. So we're going to say, I think that's living, and I'm pretty confident. And we got it correct, and look, that progress bar filled up. So then you would go, next question. A biome is blank. And again, you would pick an answer. If you say, I don't really know that one, I'm just clicking on something. Don't really know it. Okay, we got it right. So again, these are filling up. So the more you get right, the faster those are going to fill. If you kept getting them wrong, they're going to go to reading, or if you just wanted to go back and read this section, it will take you right to that section. That's how you complete the SmartBooks. And if you just want to read the textbook, like I just want to read that section, you would go to McGraw-Hill Connect over on the left. And then you're going to see a page that looks similar to this. So if you're like, we don't have a textbook for this class, we absolutely have a textbook for this class. So you would click right here where it says read, and that's going to take you right to the SmartBook. If you wanted to rent a bound book, you could do it here. If you wanted the loose leaf, you could do it here. So if I just want to read the chapter and I didn't want to go through the SmartBook, you could go click on here. So this has all kinds of nice features. You can go to the table of contents. So let's say I just wanted to read 1.3. I could go to chapter 1 and click on 1.3, or I could scroll down. You can also have it read to you. So we'll actually read sections to you.
Page 1.
Page 1.
Page 2.
Page 2.
You can adjust the size of the font if you're somebody that needs a bigger font. So it does all kinds of nice things. You can highlight certain passages, so you do have a textbook. Also on this page, if you've already done a smart book and you want to go back and you want to use it for practice for a quiz or a test, you could go back to one and now it's going to say recharge because you've already done it. So instead of being an assignment, you would have this recharge option. So click on the arrow on the right, recharge, and then you have another attempt. And again, it's going to ask you, which of these do you want to do? So you're going to pick whatever you feel comfortable with and then start. So just a refresher, when you're looking at those Nearpod notes, you're going to click on the notes, and I often have a PDF version and a PowerPoint version, whatever works best for you. And I'm just going to scroll through here a little bit so that you see they're going to be blank. So we usually have the topic chapter, and then the blanks are going to be filled in by using the Nearpod. So the answers to those blanks are on the Nearpod. Again, the lecture notes, the Nearpod notes, they'll say Nearpod notes, are what you need for studying for the test and quizzes. So all these blanks are going to come from the Nearpods. So that's how you complete the lecture assignments.